What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Dave B, and you're watching Dave B on TV, where we go beyond that everyday bullshit that people be consuming on a day-to-day basis. And today, I want to talk about the number one reasons why you should be yourself, right? Because it's very simple. I always talk about being yourself. This is the key. You know what I'm saying? But just if you can't, you still don't get it. I want to try to make it simple, or present just an opinion or a viewpoint or something you can use as a reference to kind of be like, you know what, maybe I should just do it. Because the thing about it is, as an individual, right, as your spirit, you represent a completely new archetype that has never existed before. That's you. Now, some people are better individuals than others. And what I mean by better individuals, it's easier for them to tap into that uniqueness than others. So I understand. Like it's kind of a thing where we're all supposed to be individuals in our own way, but naturally there's going to be certain people who kind of can't help but it's like they might not be strong enough as a spirit within themselves, and so they have to take bits and pieces from other representations in order to construct their own way of being an individual. But that's just a matter of time. You know what I'm saying? It's like the only real goal of life here is to expand. And so as long as you're expanding, you're doing something right. And the funny thing is, expansion is always going to feel like you're doing something wrong. Or not feel like you're doing something wrong necessarily, but it's going to feel uncomfortable, I should say. Because if it feels wrong, it's probably wrong. You know what I'm saying? But it's the feeling I'm talking about is more so a feeling of uncomfortability, where it might, because uncomfortability, because you've never done it before, it can feel wrong. And I guess in a sense, you got to understand that there's no such thing as wrong or right. You know what I'm saying? Wrong or right is really left or right, and left or right are really emotional, spiritual, esoteric directions. And so it's more like a feeling righteous type of thing, or feeling left field, rebellious, you know what I'm saying, type thing. Feeling uplifted, feeling down, or feeling depressed, going backwards, having regret, or going forward, having motivation and optimism and things of that nature. Forward thinking, determination, those kind of vibrations. And so like you gotta kind of chalk it up to that as well. We're all just trying to travel and expand. And so but you have the opportunity as a spirit and a body on this physical world. You have the opportunity to present a whole different archetype, a whole new way of being that can only be experienced through you as a spirit doing what you do to the maximum capacity. It's like you owe it to yourself to be a complete individual and to live this life how you are supposed to live it. But a lot of times we just get scared because we don't see that representation anywhere else. But see, here's the thing. You won't see it. A lot of us wait to do certain things that we know in our heart is what we're supposed to be doing, but we wait to do it because we feel as though, well, I haven't really seen it done yet. Duh, nigga, like you supposed to do it. You supposed to bring it to the world. They don't know what to do with it. No one can do it like you. And that's the truth about it. But a lot of times we like to cling on to what works and what is expected and what's been predicted and what has shown results to actually make sense in the world. So we hold back our own energies. And it's like sometimes, man, you got to chuck it up to like, look, I just got to go out and do it, aka be my own spark and actually get the ball rolling myself. You know what I'm saying? And so I can see, and sometimes like we all fall short. So it doesn't mean that you're going to hit it all the time. And that's another aspect of it. Like rejection, there is no rejection. You always expand. So even when you go through things that like hurt your feelings or scarred your ego, it's like, man, okay, so what? You gotta treat it like a scrape. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you skateboard and you fell off and you scraped your arm, like, damn. But what, you gonna lay there all night? No, nigga, we gotta get home. You know what I'm saying? And you far away from home, so you better get on your skateboard and skate back. And if you fall again, fuck it, you fall again. But guess what? No matter what, you it's like movement. You know what I'm saying? And see, if you can't get with that, you're gonna have a very hard time in this world, because then you really fuck. Because life is already hard, whether you make it harder on yourself or not. So whether you get up and do something or not, it's still going to be the same level of difficulty. Only this time you won't have nothing you actually working towards. So it's going to be 10 times more depressing when you go into your own energy and you realize, damn, I just be wasting time here. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to see that, because a lot of people just give up hope in that manner. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, look, every day is a new day to change. Every day is a new day to see some new shit happen for yourself. So, keep that in mind. But, this is the number. And on an even deeper level, in your lifetime, it's like there's so many people in the world, right? But think about the many people and hands that you touch. Now, you're probably only thinking about the people that you actually have conversations with on an everyday basis. But think about the people that you might have impacted one time, and shit, you might not even have realized that you impacted them, right? When we present ourselves as ourselves, we are fulfilling a much larger purpose, because us being ourselves is always going to inspire other people to want to be themselves as well. And then it gives the opportunity for the people who actually resonate or needed to hear your message, because we all have a message. Like, I feel like we all have a message naturally, because we all have a story. We all came from somewhere. We all have a past. We all have a past life. Spirituality, like, as spirits, we don't die. We've gone through so much. Some people have gone through more things than others. Some people have expanded further than others. Some people have lived a long time but just stayed in one little pocket. But the thing is, it's like, how can I put this, man? It's funny because people always like fantasize about the idea of eternal life, right? The spirit is eternal. But y'all talking about eternal life on this planet, but this planet is just one little tiny speck. It's this world is only one little speck, and who knows how. It's like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, because what I'm trying to say is actually beyond words. But my point is just like, being yourself does so much more for the environment. And I'm not talking about like plants and shit, but I'm talking about people. The environment of people and spirits that you interact with, because we all have people in our life that have impacted us in strong ways that they don't even know we exist. They don't even know about. Like, if we were to recall that day, it would mean so much to us, but probably not much to them. Matter of fact, they could be going through some other kind of turmoil that completely takes them out of that experience. They just said what was on their heart, and that shit hit us in a certain way, and we took that home, and we created all kinds of other thoughts and feelings on top of that, and we are who we are today based upon that shit. And that's what I mean about, you not only owe it to yourself, but you owe it to the world to express that shit, to be yourself, to be your authentic self, and actually put that shit in the world, And I think a lot of this is coming through just because, Uranus itself is in Taurus, and Taurus has that energy, that second house energy. So it's like values. So in a lot of ways, we are looking at our own individual and unique ways of like what we value. And we're actually putting that to test because, Taurus in and of itself is it's a worker sign. You know what I'm saying? It's a worker sign. It's all about fixated on that practicality. So, Taurus's work, probably without even knowing it. Virgos put in work. They worry about work. So they can't help but be workaholics because it's that sixth house. It's like, I got to work on something. Capricorns is just, they built for work. They, they built for work. They got the mind and they get inspired to work. So but Taurus is like a worker because it's fixated on work. It's just fixated. It just knows that things happen because you put in the work. Like Taurus has come with that already in their blueprint. So, when we have Uranus in Taurus, that energy in and of itself, talking about value. And see, value, that second house space is all about value and what you have to offer to the world. What we have to offer to the world is what we value. And I think value goes so much more deep than when a lot of astrologers talk about money. Because what you have to offer to the world is your individuality in and of itself. You know what I'm saying? That's your biggest gift to the world, is you being yourself. That's the only gift that's available everywhere, and not everybody might like it, but it always serves a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you want to relate when it's necessary, but like being yourself in some way, some shape, some form, you always will find yourself finally finding those people that actually need to be around you. You know, and like I was talking about being playing out as a vessel. Sometimes people need to hear your fixated way of being a unique individual. They need to hear that sometimes, so they can so it can hit them, and they can come up with whatever they need to do to either solidify their state of being, or to change themselves. You know what I'm saying? To change themselves. You know. So that's just me kind of talking about, yeah, like the number one reason you should be yourself, man. Because a lot of times, like we all know why we should be ourselves, or we all know how to be ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, sometimes we need to know why. Why on a bigger scale. It's like you are helping to expand another individual. You know what I'm saying? But see, and that's when that's what I really feel like you for lack of better words, you block you lock your uh you block your blessings. And like what I mean by that is like you block the things that are actually for you. You block your manifestations. You block these things because you're too afraid to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you think you're doing the world a favor by being relatable, but it's like, nah, man, sometimes people need to get hit with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And some people, and who you are might not be confrontational, and that's okay too. You don't got to be overly aggressive either. But just make sure that in some way you are expressing that individuality, because there's ways to express your individuality even in a passive way. It might be passive aggressive at times, but even passive people are individuals. You know what I'm saying? But because you could be passive and have your own mind. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a big one too. So don't think that you have to just be overly aggressive in order to be an individual as well. But make sure that you are at least expressing it on some kind of level, whether it's with your actions or just in some other way. Make sure you in a situation where you do create that individual space for yourself, and you don't always feel like you have to just go along and play a character and hold all that shit inside of you. You know what I'm saying? And but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, so that's the number one reason why you should be yourself. It's really like three reasons, but just do it, man. It's like you'll always find yourself being around those things that actually are for you, because when we don't be ourselves, we manifest a bunch of shit that ain't for us. And when we get shit that ain't for us, it's easier to get outweighed by it, because it's not for us. It's not meant for us. So we trying to uphold it. We trying to hold on to it. And it turns out to be a desire, you know what I'm saying? Or, a hollow victory, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, much love and peace out, y'all.